Yeah. Might as well play something because nothing else is working.
Ta-da!
Hello, we have made it. What's so funny? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Oh my gosh, happy Tuesday.
Victorious voices.
Yes, victorious voices. We have made it.
Yes, we have.
Oh my gosh, I love that for our lives
If
this
you
Tuesday.
guys knew the continued challenges going on, but the good thing is we're getting high-speed Wi-Fi. I think we found the solution. I think so. And I just keep on telling myself this because positive affirmations that this is going to happen, that we are going to get Wi-Fi.
Throw it out there, please, so we can bring it back and we can get that. Because let me tell you, the challenges have been insane.
They have.
Insane. So thank you so much for joining us. This is Victorious Voices. My name is Niki Martinez. My pronouns are she, her, we, and it is an honor and a privilege to be able to be here today with you all. What's your name?
My name is Arthur Sonano. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm ecstatic to just be present here today, sharing voices that are victorious.
I love that.
Yes.
That's beautiful. So, we're going to have an amazing, amazing conversation today. It's just about parent leadership. And me and Boss were able to connect this morning and have a little bit of insights. I want to start out, as always, with a quote. And I think this really it hit me in a different way. And I thought about it and I ruminated on it. And it's so valuable considering the work that we're doing, being a part of the solution for the community right now and the things that we're depositing into our youth. And, I'm not a parent. So, I start looking at things a little bit differently, but I would think what would my younger self need deposited into me? What would little Niki want, And so I started researching quotes and stuff. And one of the things that stood out to me is says, some of the most important things you can communicate to a child are that feelings are okay. Mistakes are flexible, and there's nothing they could do that would push you away or make you love them less. Behavior is not perfect. It is communication. Embrace the imperfect and show children they are worth holding close to your heart, no matter what. And I just thought that was so beautiful. And the thing that stood out to me was that behavior is not perfect. It's communication, right?
That's so powerful.
Man.
Like I happen to be a parent. I have a parent. I have a total of 4 kids. And that's something that we're currently working on, our communication. And we even have like a process, like when there's all these emotions involved, or like there's angry, confusion, sadness, because them emotions evoke behaviors. Yep. And so, when I'm feeling a certain way, like I'll be like, I need my 10 minutes. I need my 15 minutes so I could come back.
Yeah.
And then have that clear communication. So
yep.
As a parent, as a family member, it's something that's been working for us. Mm-hmm. And this is something that we learned through our therapy, our family therapy. So that's a great quote.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about it, but it definitely connects to home. Mm-hmm. And parent leadership is important.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in a minute, what that means.
Yep.
Because, go ahead.
Yeah, I would just want to give a quick shout out. So, thinking about all of the parents out there and sending love, but what is today? International Women's Day. Yay! Woo-hoo. So we definitely want to acknowledge all the queens out there that are just thriving despite the challenges that they face. To all my siblings at Sister Warriors Freedom Coalition, hats off, hands up, definitely. One of the women that we would like to acknowledge here today is Layla Aziz from Pillars of the Community, powerful, mighty, mighty, mighty queen here in San Diego County who does amazing work. And then also too, acknowledging our women ambassadors that are part of our Transforming Trauma campaign, who have been, I mean, just phenomenal in helping us do everything in our power to help heal and heal our communities and give back to the community in such an amazing way. So Dana Brown, Marisol, Leticia, Lydia, thank you all so much for being the amazing women that you are and the faces for our Transforming Trauma campaign and being an ambassador and getting the word out of value, of healing. And we appreciate you greatly here.
Yeah. And Dana Brown, happy birthday. Today's your birthday.
Today's your birthday, Dana Brown. We celebrate your life here.
Yes,
love that.
For being an amazing voice in the community. And holding organizations accountable on trauma-informed practices and systemic racism. Mm-hmm. So definitely we admire you and have a great day. Enjoy it, and peace and blessings to your life.
And know that you are very valued and very much appreciated. So, you know, I do the trainings with our co-trainers, with our youth co-trainers, and we play a video. And one of the things that Dana says just always, you know, just touches my heart and my soul. And it's like, you know, that's somebody's child, that's somebody's son, you know, and it shows the prison yard and, you know, with men out there on the yard. And it's just like, God, it's so true. You know, we all belong to somebody, you know. Mm-hmm. We're all from somewhere, and we are all valuable human beings, despite what it is that we've gone through and despite the lies that we chose to believe about ourselves growing up, you know. So that just kind of really resonates with me. Every time I hear her speak, it hits me a little bit different, you know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and look, we're still going through challenging times. I feel that like parents are being affected in different ways, different narratives, different situations, different circumstances. You know, I go into George Bailey and I visit individuals that have been charged with murders, attempted murders, violence, gang enhancement. I'm an individual that is there for that individual on why factors, right? Like why contributing factors happen in individuals' lives, and they're in the predicament and situations. On the organization side, we also do everything in our power to bring the proper resources for our youth, individuals, and families. Yesterday, it hit me. Like I walk in, like there's no visits going on at George Bailey. So I come in to visit two individuals, and one was the older one, which was an adult. The first thing he tells me, man, are you a police? Right? Are you a police, man? Because I don't talk to police.
He flexed up on you, huh?
And he's all handcuffed, right? And I'm like, look, check this out, man. I'm not the police. And you could tell he had a like anger in him. Mm-hmm. Like he was sad, he was depressed, and that's what was venting out. You know, within 30, 40 minutes, we were crying together, sharing resources. So, because just craving that attention.
Yeah.
And by the way, he was a parent, right? And so him being in this situation and his circumstance, like, you know, that's all he talked about. Like, man, I want to be out there for my kid. I want to be able to be the best dad that I could be. And mm-hmm. How do I do that? And how can I make that happen? How did you do it? And, you know, at the end of the day, he's there for a situation, circumstance, trial coming up. So that's an example of a absent dad being present, not being present for their kids' lives. Mm-hmm. A lot of Latino, African American cultures, dads are not present. They're not present. And then systems come in and also, you know, put individuals in that positions. Of course, accountability, what did that individual do to be in that situation? But we're just talking about realities. Yeah, realities of these parents. Like, you know, we're working in middle schools, right? And right now, it seems like the middle schools, the era is going back to when we were in middle school at Wilson Middle School, right? Like, just there's this sense of belonging that the kids want, and they're finding it in
they're desperate for.
They're desperate for
it. Like, but it's disheartening. It's like they are desperate for it. And, you know, I always, even inside, it's like you realize that when you start functioning from a place of desperation, it's limitless what it is that you'd be willing to do to fill that void within yourself, you know. And that's where they're at right now, unfortunately, is they are desperate for attention, they are desperate for love, they are desperate for validation and acceptance, and they're desperate for it, you know.
And it shows in the things that they're going to belong to, right? For that need that they need. So we're on the ground doing everything in our power to help that population. And I had a conversation with someone, and I was just identifying, like, uh, because I look at certain gangs as families, right? They were grown in specific communities together. They went to school together. They're family members. They're connecting. They help support each other, build each other up. They're there for one another. And the gang activity that was happening back in the days in the late 80s and early 90s, it's different from what's happening right now with our kids in middle school. There's like a lot of taggers. There's a lot of taggers, not actually gang members. And in particular here in City Heights, there's all these different little cliques, right? Little cliques, and they're reaching out to these little cliques for that sense of healing, friendship, culture.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going through their processes. And we're always talking about why the law enforcement's talking about why violence, and Prop 47, and no, like, let's keep in mind the realities here. COVID-19,
Mm-hmm.
like flared the trauma locally, California, nationally, international. It flared it up, and it had a big part of process of why our kids are going through what they're going through. They were isolated. What does isolation feel like to you?
Oh my God. I instantly I get triggered and start thinking about segregated housing unit. Isolation feels like I'm boxed up, not just mentally, but not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. It's like there's a ceiling for everything, you know? And it creates a lot of trauma. Unfortunately. It does. It creates even more trauma.
It creates more trauma.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the youth going through this. But now who's being affected? The homes, the families, the parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
The opportunity to be able to be in Clark and do enrollment and sit down with the parents, and they'll go in there and just sign up for the program for their kids, and within 30 seconds they're breaking down crying.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
because they too are desperate.
They're desperate.
And they want a solution, and they want their children to be healthy, and they want their children to be functioning to a place of just feeling content. And unfortunately, because of their emotional, I don't even know, like, just vulnerabilities of not having the knowledge of what it is that they're feeling in a community that unfortunately doesn't support the right needs, it creates that harm. And then the parents want, they want to be able to produce something that's going to be and deposit something good into their youth,
And at the end of the day, we have youth programs all day, but the solution to healing comes from the families.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line. So now things are opening up, right? We're talking about maybe April in the schools, mask mandates, they go away. Things are opening up. There's life, there's community. We want to be engaged. So we want to bring that back, right? And that's sticking true to our grassroots, to Relta Park, being in the parks, but now bringing it into the schools. And, we're planning a Cinco de Mayo event with the parents, that they could come together and, they could be the ones to lead the way. My wife and I, we do parent workshops. We facilitate the Parents on a Mission curriculum. I just want to talk really briefly about what it is. We talk about not losing our loyalty to our kids, right? And when that means is losing our loyalty means friends, influences, media, music, whatever comes in that way where your child doesn't see you that as that authority figure, then there's a problem. Then we're losing that loyalty. And that happens during the age of 12, 13, 14. That's when teens are most rebellious. But most important, it's the personal development of a parent. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, the best resource that we could do as parents is work on ourselves.
True that.
Work on ourselves, because by working on ourselves, we're going to be able to role model to our kids in hopes that role modeling, they'll get some of that.
Yeah.
And they're going to use their careers. They're going to see that, like my dad, my mom, they did this and that. That was a good thing. But they make their decisions when they grow older. And sometimes it doesn't turn out the way we plan and, the way we help support. But by being a parent leader in your community, in your household, is the best thing that you could do as a parent. We're going to be facilitating Parents on a Missions throughout the year. We're doing it right now at Rosa Parks. We're going to be doing it at Clark. We're going to be doing it for our adult reentry population, our community mentors program, BSCC. Mm-hmm. So we believe in families and what they're going through and their processes. So, and Niki and I, we went to the same middle school together, and we always have conversations on how, wow, everything that we did to our mamas, right?
Man.
Everything, the chasing us, the running away, the sleepless nights, that's a lot of trauma that we've brought.
Yeah.
But now they're excited, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
How's your mom feel about you right now?
She's definitely excited. She's definitely proud, and she lets me know all the time that, she's very proud of the woman that I am today, very proud of the choices that I've made, in the way that I've been able to make amends and, come home and do what I'm doing.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent. And so what does parent leadership look like to you?
It's the same thing that you just discussed right now. I start thinking about, because we work with people that are formerly incarcerated, all of our system impacted individuals, right? And when we started talking about parents and leadership last night, I started thinking the root of it, because you want to go back to the root of it. And then I think of all of our people that are being susceptible to, thinking about the mother and fathers that are trying to parent from incarceration, right? Behind a wall, through a phone, through a glass window, and what that looks like. And then I think about our parents, right, that had to come and travel all them different hours, journeys to go visit us while we were incarcerated, and provided us support and prayer and, offerings of just love and having our back, when I think about it, it's like, there's so much guilt, there's so much resentments, there's so many different things that culminate, a person into being who they are. But when it comes to parent leadership, it is exactly what you talked about. It's about taking a look and doing that personal inventory, a direct reflection of ourselves, so that we don't throw up what it is that we've gone through, so that we don't harm our youth from our own personal experiences, so we don't force our own beliefs and trauma onto the youth, and being mindful of that, right? And being willing to do something different. Because when we look at ourselves and we start thinking about what it is that we're experiencing, and if it doesn't sit and resonate with us at 100% to where it feels good, right? If we're functioning from a place of 40% of feeling good, and 60% of that you're depositing onto a child, right? That's all negativity. So I feel like parent leadership is definitely taking that personal inventory, being able to function from a place of compassion, and looking at, your children, your child, or the children that you're working with, or the youth that you're working with, and understanding that these are valuable human beings that deserve to be loved, respected, and regarded and heard. And I think that's the one thing, when we start talking about fighting for the loyalty, there are so many influences, different influences out there in this world. And it's the best thing we can do is model what it is that we want, and what it is that could help, our youth. We always talk about the disciplinary window. We don't want to do anything for them. We want to do things with them and encourage them to get that self-efficacy, right? And that's what parent leadership is. It's understanding that your child is not to, live your life of all of the different things that you wanted to do. It's not to live your dreams through them. It's to help them be the best version of themselves that they could possibly be. And how do we do that?
And breaking the that cycle of generational trauma.
Right.
Yeah, that's the parents, like my mom's trauma, growing up in poverty stricken countries, hungry, not being able to eat. To this day, she chews on her bone, right? Because when she was a kid, the family of 10 didn't have enough meat. So they would chew on the bone, the marrow inside the bone, lick it. She does that to this day. And as a kid, I used to see her do that. Mm-hmm. I didn't grow up hungry, but I would see her do that. And to this day, guess what? I chomp on my bones too, and I suck the marrow, right? So that's generational trauma that's passed down to our kids. So just being mindful of that, because kids are like one of the smartest, sharpest individuals that you could think of. Like my baby Catalina, oh man, she pays attention to everything. If there's something I don't want her to see or be a part of, trust and believe, I'm gonna take it somewhere else, because she's definitely gonna call me on it. You know what I'm saying? So like that's just the way it is. They're sharp. They're like sponges. Mm-hmm. They see everything. They experience everything, and so they're just, the world's new to them. So I'm proud to be a parent. We're talking about parent leadership. Individuals that are parents. It's also the hardest job in the world, right? Because there's just all these emotions that are involved, because you want the best for your kids, the stages that they go through. And so it's the most hardest job in the world, but at the same time, it's the most rewarding job in the world. So I'm grateful for being a parent.
I don't know, because I'm not a parent. So I think there's other most rewarding things in the world, because I am in love with the work that we do. Like that's most rewarding for me. I don't see my world ever, looking to be like, ooh.
Oh yeah, and everyone's different.
Yes.
Right. But
yes.
And Niki took the Parents on a Mission curriculum.
I did take it.
And how did you're not a parent?
No, I'm not a parent, but I knew the value in that curriculum. I was able to see it, and I also, because I work with the youth, right? And my babies, everybody always says I adopt them. I do adopt them. The youth empowerment, I love our babies, and I love them, and I regard them as if they were my very own, and I seen the value in the Parents on a Mission, because you know what, you can't never have too much knowledge, right? And if you're being a being in this world, you're interacting with other human beings. Mm-hmm. And what does that look like? And I want to be the best version of myself for every being that I come in contact with, and that's youth included.
Yes. So we're looking forward to this year, expanding our parent component, reaching out to different parents, working with our youth, individuals, and families. We have to, it's the whole wraparound service.
Yep.
We need to be connected with the youth and the parent too, and build that communication. So parents, Niki's quote, it reflects on the topic today. Parent leadership, mm-hmm. Communication is big. And yes, there's frustration if they don't clean their rooms, if they don't do something, if they yak back, right? Yak, mm-hmm. yak, and it gets you really frustrated. I'm talking about myself, right? Just take a deep breath, do some reflection, and build that time where, that communication is had on both sides. They're communicating, you're communicating, there's understanding, mm-hmm. and we're moving forward, right?
Yep.
So that's my take on today, my advice that I could give as a parent. But we're definitely looking forward to this year of working with a whole lot more parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's super exciting. So it's funny. So that kind of leads me to my closeout quote that I have for all of us. And it's true, youth. I think the biggest thing is understanding that the behaviors, that's them communicating in the way that they've learned and the way that they've been conditioned to receive what it is, to get a need met, right? To get a desire met is due to them behaviors. So I want to close out with this quote, and it says, when did we get the crazy idea that in order to make children do better, first we may have to make them feel worse. When did we get that crazy idea? Think of the last time that you felt humiliated or treated unfairly. Did you feel like cooperating or doing better? No, right? So what is that condition? That just creates more harm. And so just kind of being mindful of that. We can't control, and the minute we start believing that we control another human being is the minute that we start losing all of our power and we lose ourselves, right? So, just think about, the way that you've been parenting, and if things don't work out and line up maybe the way that you're correct, want the behavior to be corrected, then maybe it's you that needs to be doing something just a little bit different. So I just want to give a shout out. We have an upcoming fundraiser on June 4th, 2020. It's our Heal fundraiser, which is an amazing thing. We've been doing cartwheels all over the office about this. Planning it has been had all of us ripping all of our hair out, but look at, he has none. So you see, he ripped it all out because of this fundraiser. Just kidding. He shows up like this. But, we're honoring empowerment and advocacy and leadership. That's what the HEAL stands for. We have an amazing friend and one of our TICCC ambassadors, Chef Jeff, who's an award-winning chef, New York Times bestseller, author, and highly sought-after inspirational speaker. And let me know, like, this man's words will completely alter your very existence. He'll be there celebrating with us and speaking greatness into everything it is that we do and depositing into, your world, which is going to be priceless. There's no price tag on what it is that he's going to be able to deposit. So we're super excited about that. So, you could check out our event, go to our website, and you can get more details about the event, and you can schedule something. You have something you want to say, boss?
Oh, when the event goes on social media, please share, get it out to your networks, professional networks, family members. It's going to be a great day. There's going to be great food, music, entertainment. There's going to be youth there present at every table that we're going to have. So it's going to be very, very exciting. So coming soon.
Yep. So follow us on social media, like all of our stuff. Make sure you share it and send it out with folks. It costs nothing to be able to share this amazing message that we're sharing, and our words. You can definitely get in contact with us and subscribe for our newsletter through our website. We would greatly appreciate that. And you all have an amazing, wonderful day. Do something good for yourselves and deposit something great into a youth's life today. Thank you so much. Victorious Voices, we are out.